What's going on, guys, and welcome to the Bought to Build YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be working on the L5P that you see behind me, and we're going to be taking care of the PCV reroute. You can buy kits like this. You can buy intake horns that don't have a breather port, but in our case, the WC Fab intake horn that I had bought a while back does have the PCV port, so we're just going to go ahead and cap that off and run it the other way. But let me go ahead and show you guys the parts that I ordered so I could make my own kit. They are right back here. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the hardware that I had gotten to make this kit work for me. Well, to make my own kit, really. And I'll show you guys all the part numbers. And you can also find all the part numbers in the description below the video. So first off, we have a K&N filter. It's a 1-inch couple here. That was one of the smallest ones I could find. It seems like it'll work perfect for us. The part number is right there. And then we've got a HPS 7/8 to 7/8 hose coupler. The part number for that one is right there. And then we also have a HPS cap. This one is going to go onto my intake horn to cap off the current breather that is going to the current PCV system. The part number for that is right there. And then this one, I had to get to work with this K&N filter, so this is 1 inch, where everything else we're working with is 7/8. So I had to get a 7/8 on this end, 1 inch on this end. Not a big deal, it'll work, no one's ever gonna see it. Who cares? Part number for that one is right there. And then, of course, just some 7/8 hose from your local hardware store will suffice. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the truck, and I'll show you guys what exactly we plan on doing. So let's get the truck opened up here. Pop the hood. Go ahead and get this hood popped. If I can do it one-handed. All right, so we've got the stock baffle, I guess you could call it. That's what I'm gonna call it, right here, right next to where you fill your oil. And then I'm guessing that this is a baffle to try to separate air and the oil before it goes into the PCV system. And then it goes to this hose right here, which is a nice factory formed U. And then from that hose, it goes down into our WC Fab intake horn. Like I said, this is basically the same way it works on a factory intake horn as well, and I'm sure many others. Again, you can buy this intake horn without the port for it, but in my case I didn't know that at the time, so I went ahead and bought it. So we're gonna go from the baffle box, we're gonna turn this hose around so that it goes up and over our intercooler boot here, and then we're gonna run our couplers and hose down to the frame rail, and then put another coupler with our filter on it, and then we will use our cap right on here to cap this off. We're gonna reuse that factory the U-shaped hose that I was telling you guys about right here, because it should come right up and over and look pretty decent going down. Looks like it should look like it belongs there, instead of actually taking a new hose and doing it from the baffle there. I feel like it just would look out of place, and you're never gonna get that bend unless we used like AN fittings and stuff, and I don't want to go that crazy. But we could also do a catch can system. We could just run this to a vented catch can, but in my case, I don't think that's really gonna be needed. I don't think the truck's gonna drip from it or anything like that, and if it does, I feel like with how much baffling the stock system has, that there'd be something else wrong with the truck. So we're gonna go ahead and run it to that filter. One of the main reasons that I wanna get that out of there is because where it dumps back into your intake, it's going straight into the turbo. So any oil or basically the oil vapors and stuff are getting dumped right back into your engine. So we're gonna try to avoid that, and we're just gonna route it to atmosphere and go from there. So let's go ahead and get some tools out. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do if I'm going to start on it right now or wait until the morning to show you guys when we have a little bit more light and it's a little bit warmer. But let's go ahead and jump on that next. Alright guys, as you can see, we went ahead and moved the truck, at least nosed it in to the carport. We're going to go ahead and get started on the PCV reroute, but it's pretty cold up here in New England and pretty dang windy today. So we gave it an attempt outside, but it's just too cold. So we moved it in here. You're gonna have some like almost like wind noise from the heater that we've got going, but it's just, it is what it is. So got everything we need laid out. Got the truck in here and ready. So let's go ahead and get at it. All right guys, so first thing you're gonna wanna do here is we're gonna wanna unplug this to get it out of our way. You gotta slide that clip back and then just push in on it. And it should slide right off. You can just tuck that up out of the way. And then we're gonna pop this hose off. But on a lot of your guys' vehicle, if it's still got the factory intake horn, you're gonna have a metal clip like this. You can just cut it off. There's a nub where they tighten them. You can just cut the nub off and then that should loosen. On mine, it's already off because we have a different intake horn on it. But then this hose, you should just be able to give it a little twist and then it should slide right up. And then we're just gonna turn it right around. Looks like it's gonna work perfect for us. Run it right down where we wanna go. So then we're gonna take our cap and a hose clamp and cap off the port that we just took that hose off of. I'm going to switch over to the hand ratchet because those things like to jump. You could go with a smaller hose clamp, but this is just what I had. I'll probably swap it out later. And as you can see, that's not going to go anywhere. So then next thing would be we take our straight coupler here. This as well as from HPS, and then we're just going to take this, put it right in our factory hose. Take another hose clamp. Also going to finish that one by hand. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and get the other hose out and we can start getting that ready to run it down the frame rail. Alright guys, we didn't have enough hands to show you us feeding the hose through, but you get the idea. Just start at the top, feed it through. I zip tied off to a couple things along the way just to keep it away from the drive shaft and steering shaft and all that good stuff. And then we ran it down, I don't know if you can see, I can't really see the camera. We ran it down to here, and I put the fitting that we're gonna use for the filter on there before we fed it down, so it was one less thing that we had to do down here. So let's go ahead and get the filter on and get the bottom side buttoned up. Hit the light button. Hit it one more time. Awkward angle. We got that pretty snug. Do the official test. That ain't going nowhere. And we're just gonna zip tie ours up right here. Grab the other zip tie. This spot seems to work good for us guys, but if you have a better spot, it doesn't really matter 100% where you put it, as long as it's away from any spinning object like the drive shaft or the steering shaft, things like that. So I'm gonna call that good right there, and now let's hop up top and finish this thing off. All right guys, now we're up top. You want to just see about where your hose is gonna land. I'm just gonna eyeball it here. It doesn't have to be perfect. We'll go right about at that 6. So let's go ahead and cut that if we can. I don't know if these cutters are gonna want to do it, but we're gonna try. Oh, not bad. Then we can take our other hose clamp here. I'm just gonna set mine somewhere for now. And then it's so cold out here today that everything's just getting stiff on us. It's not terrible. Somewhere like that. I'm gonna go ahead and run it close with the gun again just because it's a lot easier. And then switch back over to my hand ratchet. Like I told you guys before, my hose clamps are a little longer, obviously, than what you need. It's just what I had. Now you can take a pair of dikes and go in here and cut them a little bit if you want. I'm going to, just for now, until I get some nicer clamps or something in here. Down in the back. Trying to do it where you don't see them as bad. Ideally, I'd go from the bottom here, but I don't think I can grab it good enough, so. And then don't forget also that we unplugged this. We can go ahead and plug this guy back in. And don't forget to slide that little locking tab forward. As you see, it's forward now. So I'm just gonna give you guys a quick glimpse of how we ran it down from the top. Again, you guys can do whatever works for you. We ran it down past behind those brake lines so that it wouldn't slide by our steering shaft. And also, there are different ways you could run it back a little more so that that doesn't touch there, but I'm not all that worried about it. The biggest thing is hitting on this bolt. Ours, if you can see, doesn't really rest on it. You can still fit a finger through there. I'll obviously keep an eye on it to make sure, but we can always just loosen this clamp and turn it down a little more, which we might go ahead and do just so it doesn't rub through. So let's go ahead and do that and then fire this thing up. Alright guys, I think everything's good to go. Came out looking pretty good, looks pretty factory. As you can see, I did end up turning those clamps. We got everything plugged back in, capped off. So let's go out and take this thing for a ride and have some fun with it. Okay guys, so that's going to go ahead and do it for today's video. The PCV reroute was very successful, and I hope that it can help you guys out if any of you are looking for a cost-effective way to do the PCV reroute. I do want to take a second though and wish you guys a very happy, fun, and safe holiday. Here at the Bought to Build YouTube channel, we want all of you and your families to have a great holiday. If you guys like the content, please go ahead and leave a like, a comment, or go ahead and subscribe for us, but we will catch you on the next one.